Good morning, and thank you so much for being here. It's been interesting to chat with many of you this morning. There have been some comments about this was the last event, big event that someone went to before things started to shut down last year. So it's kind of nice to be the opening event that many of us may have come to on a round table meal together basis this year. And we're gathered today because we are so excited about the Aerospace Center for Excellence, for the opportunity to see Sun and Fun kick off again this year and be able to have the explosive results in the sky as well as the great results for our students that occur as a direct result of this wonderful effort, this wonderful school, and the wonderful leadership that is provided in it. This morning we're going to begin with the posting of the colors. We'll then have the national anthem by Nancy Leenhouts, and then we'll have the pledge and invocation by Commissioner Philip Walker. So let's stand for the posting of the colors.
Color turn. Hard. Read that. Hard.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. Oh, the rampart we watched were so gallantly streaming, and rockets rattling, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Hard turn. Hard. Color turn. Hard. Forward. Hard.
Good morning. If we would join with me in the pledge, and after the pledge, we will have our invocation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. I'm going to pray. Well, good morning, everyone. Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh yes, we need to hear the sound. Of course, I was asked here at the last minute at praying. I said, "Well, Commissioner, do you mind praying?" I said, "No, I pray all the time, so I don't have a problem with praying." So we're going to ask that you would join me in prayer. And those that maybe have your caps or hats, if you arrest those at this time as we pray, and bow with me in prayer. Father God, we bless your name this morning. Indeed, we give you glory, we give you honor, we give you praise. We thank you for this time, this opportunity that we come at this particular mayor's breakfast for Sun and Fun. And thank you, Father God, for this day again. And we believe, God, by faith that this particular event will go on very well this year, even though it had to be canceled on last year. And we trust you, Father God, for everything that we do and everything we say. Thank you for our community. Thank you for Lakeland. Thank you for this particular location with Sun and Fun and the Central Florida Aerospace Academy, Lord. All those that are involved, we thank you that you continue to shine light upon them. We thank you for this food that we have begun to receive and pray as a nourishment to our bodies. We thank you, Lord, that all is well in our lives and continue to be well. Even in the times that we're living in right now, we look to you and trust you for everything, the true and living God. We bless you and we thank you again for this day. In your name we pray. Let the heart say amen.
Amen.
Good morning. I'm Mike Hartman with Clark Campbell, Lancaster & Munson, PA. On behalf of our law firm, I'd like to welcome you to the 8th Annual Mayor Sun and Fun Breakfast here at the Aerospace Center for Excellence. And we are honored again to once be the presenting sponsor. And I was very thankful that when Bill was looking my direction for the pledge and invocation, that Philip got up and walked to the lectern. So as Bill said, this may have been the last event last year before things really started to shut down. And it's a bit surreal for me standing up here again today. Exactly 1 year ago, I mentioned the new Top Gun movie that would be coming out last year. Didn't happen. Matthew McCardle, the head of policy for Amazon Air, was supposed to be our keynote speaker. Didn't happen. And we were all looking forward to flying starting at the end of March. Didn't happen. Obviously, much more serious things happened last year due to COVID, but I think last year was an early indication for me that things were not going to be okay. But despite all of that, the Sun and Fun Aerospace Expo is back, and it is going to be a great year. Woo! That's thanks to the dedicated team of staff, volunteers, and board directors who execute ACE's year-round mission, including the Aerospace Academy. So the lead dog on that team is someone who really needs no introduction to this crowd. John Leenhouts is a 27-year veteran of the United States Navy, and I think he's on about his third career here at ACE and Sun and Fun, having served as the president and CEO since 2012. So our law firm is proud to partner with and represent ACE as it continues to engage, educate, and accelerate the next generation of aerospace professionals. So now to introduce our keynote speaker, please help me welcome Leenhouts.
Thank you so very much. I really appreciate that. Wow. So, March 3rd. 1845. What day was that? We became a state. 1845, statehood in Florida. So we're now looking at about 176 years. And even though Sun and Fun's only been around for about 47 years, we're all making a mark. We're making it better every day. And so glad we got such great leadership from the state of Florida to allow us to do this. Looking across this crowd out here, oh my gosh, who would have thought a year ago that we could come back so quickly from all the issues we dealing with the pandemic and start putting this together, and here we are back together, enjoying life together, being brave enough to take on the challenges of the pandemic and pass through it. That's why Sun and Fun's going to happen. So I'd like to recognize a few of the folks out here that make things happen in the city of Lakeland that help us. Obviously, the mayor's here with us this morning, but I got Commissioners Stephanie Madden, we got Bill Reed, we got Philip Walker, Sarah McCauley, Chad McLeod, and Don Selvage are all here, as well as where's our new city manager? Where's Sean at? Sean, thank you very much, sir. We haven't met, but thank you very much for being our new city manager. Lakeland Linder International Airport, the leadership of our good friend Gene Conrad and his team are here, along with Noah and their commanding officer, our good friend Commander Sloan. He just picked up captain. So So he's going to be a United States captain with the NOAA National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, which is great. Our fire department is here. Doug Riley and Mark Hartzog and Mike Williams. Thank you all very much for coming. Central Florida Economic Council, Sean Malott, yay. Public schools, Polk County, we team with them. If you didn't know it, the Central Florida Aerospace Academy, the Aerospace Center for Excellence, are teamed with the Polk County School Board and public schools, and we work as partners hand in hand. And Steve Cochran sitting over here, thank you very much, sir, as part of that team. Cornelius Jackson, Darfur Jones, and our own special director from the Central Florida Aerospace Academy, Jennifer Sasser, in the back there. She's the get-it-done lady for all of our students. The Sheriff's Office, Major Ken Hall and Captain Terry Story, thank you all for being the County Sheriff's Office, Security Judge. We're teamed together to make sure this is a safe place for everyone. Congressman Scott Franklin's office is represented by Alice Hunt. Marco Rubio's office represented here by Taylor Sanchez. And we got special guests from our first line medical support and our friends at Lakeland Regional Health Center. And that's April Novotny, the Chief Nurse Executive of VP of Clinical Services, as well as Dr. Francisco Shelby, Associate Chief Medical Officer. We'd be remiss if we didn't recognize the folks that make it happen right here at the Aerospace Center for Excellence in Sunnyvale. Our board of directors are crucial in guiding us and paving the path for the future. So we've got Dr. Harley Richards as the chairman for the Sunnyvale board, along with the vice chairman Bob Beatty and his wife Kathy over here, board member Steve Thomas, his wife Charlotte, and an emeritus Jim Bergland. Thank you all for being here. The board of directors for ACE, Rick Garcia. I don't know where Lisa is. I guess she took a break. She did. All right. And Jeff Kinkart is back here with his wife Julie, who leads planes. He's the secretary for the ACE board. And their son Landon, who is one of our students. So it's amazing. We really believe what we preach. So our students, our children, all go to the school. They don't go somewhere else, like some other places. Sir? And Lexi's here as well, a graduate. So good on y'all. And one of the crucial parts of our whole organization is the Lakeland Aero Club, the largest high school flying club in the world. With over 60 students, 12,000 square foot of hangar, their own runway, 5 airplanes, a fabulous leader, Mike C and his team back here, and Jamie Beckett, part of the board. Thank you all very much for being here today. So with that, I'm going to introduce our guest speaker. All right? As well as, before I forget, the people that made this happen. Because if we don't have financial support, nothing goes anywhere, do they? So we've been blessed. Not only did our good friends from Clark Campbell, Lancaster, and Munson jump in here as our premier sponsor, but we've also got good friends who've been dear friends. Paul Norris and his crowd from Bank of Central Florida, thank you very much. Geico is here. Lakeland Linder International Airport has always been a sponsor. Mid-Florida Credit Union, the Lunds Group. I don't see Brad. Shame on Brad. I'll get after him later. Citizens Bank and Trust, Lakeland Eye and True Builders. True Builders. Thanks, guys, for coming. You guys are great. So it's really important you recognize the community involvement at the Aerospace Center for Excellence, as well as Sun from the Flying. Because guess what? You own us. We work for you. What we do here is all directed right back to the community. Every single dollar we earn goes back into the community. That's important. Now, more dollars are important. Where do we get those? Tourism. So our guest speaker is going to talk to us today about how tourism, sports marketing has changed the landscape in Florida. Mark Jackson has been leading, well, he's been in the marketing business now for over 35 years. He's well experienced. He's been the leader of the director of Central Florida's Tourism and Sports Marketing, which is an award-winning organization. He literally created out of nothing, brought them together, and created a valuable organization that makes a difference in Central Florida. I won't go into his long list of accolades, but I will tell you, because of his skill on skis, on water or snow, he's in almost every single Hall of Fame across the nation somewhere because of his prowess behind the boat or shooting down the mountainside. His skills lead the way in that kind of fearlessness is what took him to the height of success at the Central Florida's Tourism and Sports Marketing. So with that, I want to introduce Mark Jackson, and he's going to talk to us about how tourism has changed us in Central Florida. Come on up, Mark.
A lot of notes up here, holy smokes. Well, good morning, everybody. And I don't know if you know it or not, but there was a huge debate this morning on who was going to sing the national anthem. And Light seems to forget the guy with the mic last always has the last say. So the debate was between, was it going to be Light, John, or was it going to be his wife, Nancy? And so finally, to settle this dispute this morning, Bill Mutz had to step in, mayor that he is, and the gentleman that he is, and said, you know, Nancy has a great voice. John, not so much. John usually sings tenor. I don't know if you guys know that. 10 or 20 miles from here. So the decision was made to have Nancy do the national anthem, and what a great job she did. Well, sort of kudos to Lights. I have to say to Lights and to Greg and the entire staff, my son, my youngest son, that is, his name is Hunter, and he went to the Central Florida Aerospace Academy. This is a success story for Polk County and for the organization. He graduated, or was commissioned last December as a second lieutenant into the Air Force, and will be on the pilot's track, and will be heading to Columbus, Mississippi for his pilot training. So he put in for a fighter pilot. We'll see. I'm not sure if he'll be as good as John, who was flying F-18s. They get into a little bit of trouble over the Daytona 500 one year. You remember that? And for some of his aerobatics. And anyway, long story short, that's a success story for Lakeland, for Polk County, when you have our own kids come up. They go through this arguably the best high school for aviation in the country. And now my son has graduated from there, went to college, graduated from there, now second lieutenant going to pilot school in Columbus. So congratulations, John, and the great program you have, because it hit home for me. Well, Lights talked quite a bit about, let's get that picture off. I don't need to see that. There we go. That's a little bit better. Well, today, March 3rd, interesting day, because a year ago today is when we started formulating, it was actually today, a year ago, formulating a three-pronged plan to deal with the pandemic. We saw it coming, we wanted to be prepared, and so the importance of that is the fact that tourism is our state and Polk County's largest industry. Here in Polk, $2.4 billion a year. Well, why is that important? Well, tourism is an export. So I'm a former adjunct in economics, and you're going to get a little economics lesson this morning, a little bit on sports and tourism and some other things. But the importance of tourism and sports is that it brings new dollars into the community. You can circulate all the money you want to within a community, and that's healthy for our economy, right? That's great stuff. However, unless you bring in new dollars and increase the volume of money, all that circulation, or what's called velocity of money, means very little. So that's what tourism does for Polk County and the state of Florida. All those new dollars coming in, people just dropping it off by the carload, if you will, to make our economy better. It's not an entitlement program. This is a program that drives the economy. New dollars, new jobs, so it's healthy. And of course, the 13th of March, a year ago, the last time we saw a game at Publix Field, it was very disheartening. I remember sitting in the stands and finding out the news that spring training had been canceled. Of course, our Russ Mat Baseball Collegiate Invitational, the largest collegiate tournament in the country, 280 teams shut down as well. So it was a huge, huge hit to our economy. But overall, how did we fare? Okay, where am I supposed to find this? Over that way? There we go. All right. For those of you in the back that haven't had LASIK surgery, all right, or if you didn't bring your glasses, what I'm going to show you here, this is a little bit small. This is a timeline, a bar graph, if you will, of tourism revenues in Polk County. Okay, now this is revenue for hotels, motels, campgrounds, vacation rental homes like VRBO type stuff, and so on and so forth. Back in 2009 and 10, we were recovering from the Great Recession. We were just starting to climb out. And that really put a huge hit on Polk County's economy, not to mention the national and global economy. And so we were roughly $5.7 million in total revenue, tourism red tax revenue that year. Well, if you fast forward, you can see the climb. We had 6 consecutive years of record-setting growth here in Polk County. Oh, that's great news. Well, then 2019-20, the pandemic hit. We went from whatever that number is up there, maybe Bill, you can see, almost $14 million. That's almost a 3-fold increase from 2009 and 10. Well, we dropped down to roughly $10.5 million last year because after March, or during March, it was gone. All right, and we began a slow climb starting in June. Where did we end up? $10.6 million in total revenue. That was a huge drop, 30-some%, to say the least. So that means a lot less revenue coming into Polk County's wallet, right? That's a lot of money that we're now receiving from our tourism friends. Well, we started climbing back. We started climbing back fairly quickly in June, and arguably a lot of it was because of sporting events. Well, our projection for this coming year, the fiscal year that we're in, began October 1st and ends September 30th of this year. We're originally projected, that is, back in August, that we would be approximately $11 million in total revenue. Oh, these numbers are great, right? They make you sleep better tonight. But the fact of the matter is, we're 10% ahead of our projection, and we'll end up, God willing, okay, the end of our fiscal year at $12 million, which is the will be the 3rd best in history. It's a little perspective about where we're going to be. You know, and it truly is a godsend. We've been blessed here in Polk County. This is the mayor's prayer breakfast, and if we don't count our blessings, shame on us. You know, is the glass half full or is it half empty? For me, it's always half full. And I think that's where things stand. Let's see if I can point that in the right direction. All right, where do we stand today? How are we climbing out of this hole? Well, if you look back, and again, I apologize for the details on this because it's really hard to see, especially if you're sitting in the back. For those folks that get to church early, they can sit in the back as opposed to sitting in the front. All you heathens back there. No. By the way, I can say that with affection. I don't even think Jackie Johnson knows this. We've been friends for 30 years, but I did go to seminary, okay, and I didn't finish. I picked out for fighting and drinking, but no, just kidding. But thought skiing in Aspen was a heck of a lot more fun. So anyway, so June 1st, where did we stand? We were down 33%, okay, in total demand. What you're seeing here is a graph of demand, all right? That's the independent variable when we start analyzing all the statistical stuff when it comes to tourism. And what I mean by demand is how many rooms were sold in Polk County, all right? This is just hotels and motels. It doesn't include the other half of the equation, which are vacation rental homes and campgrounds and so on. We were down over 11,000 room nights from the year before, okay? That's a lot, 33%. Well, how have we fared since then, compared to the prior year? Well, where we stand right now is that we're down as of, I believe that's February 6th, okay, only 4,194 room nights compared to the prior year. So you can see the climb 22.4%. We're closing the spread back to our record year last year. And so that is encouraging. Right now, within at least the end of February, we're within 11% of where we were last year on last year's record pace. We're coming back. Okay, that's great news. Okay, I was going to say next, please, but that doesn't work so well.
It's down there.
Oh, it's over there. Okay. Well, how do we compare? How does Polk County compare to the country, to the state of Florida, and this powerful economic engine that fuels our economy? How do we compare to our surrounding counties, the state of Florida, and others? All right. And I'm going to really stay with one thing, okay, and that is where do we rank compared to the other areas. Compared to the state of Florida in total rooms sold, in other words, demand, how much have we fallen compared to the prior year, compared to the other counties, the state, and the country? The country is down almost 38% in total rooms sold or demand compared to the prior year. Osceola County to our east, this is from the month of December now, down 52%. Okay, and our unemployment numbers show it. Hillsborough County, they're down 31%. Orange County, 57.6%. Orlando. That's scary. Those are scary. Those are like depression numbers for the tourism industry. Lake County, 24.4%. Pasco, 18.2%. Polk County, we're in first place, 17.7% compared to the prior year. Now this is December versus December of 2019. So we're in first place. We're in occupancy, we're in second. ADR, we're actually in fourth, but overall we're in first place compared to the state, the country, and our surrounding counties. So Polk County, Lakeland is doing a lot right, and this group here, our businesses, our citizens have stepped up to the plate. They get it. We all get it, and that's really good news. Polk's key to success. I mentioned March 3rd a year ago. Can you hear me a little bit better if I hold this mic up? Okay, my mistake there. Anyway, a year ago today, we started a three-pronged strategic approach. How are we going to tackle this? We saw it coming. We built up our reserves. A lot of our most of our surrounding counties didn't have any reserves. They were laying off people. Tampa, they laid off over 40 people on their tourism staff, and Orange County, Osceola, the same thing. It was pretty tough. Started out with research. Everything starts with research. Your businesses should start with research. Okay? If you don't base your strategic plan on solid research, you're going to be in trouble. Safety, particularly as it relates to our local citizens, but also the perception and the safety of our visitors coming in. So we focused in on that. That was the second stage of our strategic plan. And then third, a very aggressive sales and marketing plan. We redid our entire strategic plan to deal with this whole COVID deal back in March, a year ago. Well, you can see how some of the results turned out. Let's see if I can make this thing work. In terms of marketing activation, we did a lot of different things. A lot of it had to do with safety. If people don't feel safe coming to Polk County, they're not going to visit here. And if you look, it's really interesting. I just read an article in the American Institute of Economic Research last week comparing Florida to the country of California. It's supposed to be funny. Okay. You know, the fun stuff that is going on out there. And strict lockdown state. Okay, they can't hardly move out there, and they have a lot of other issues as well compared to the blessings we have here in Florida, which is relatively open. The point is this, is that our COVID numbers per 100,000 are less than California that's in a strict lockdown mode. Okay? Unemployment there, much higher than it is in Florida. That would only make sense. So again, we've got to count our blessings. One of the things we did is we started what's called a Be Sweet campaign. There's 5 things. Notice the S on the number of suite didn't change that over. It's supposed to be a 5. 5 things we can all do: wash our hands, social distancing, and so on and so forth. That was a huge campaign of ours. The drive market. We focused not on air travel so much, but within an 8-hour drive distance of Polk County, up into Georgia and so on. And so that was a very strategic approach. And then we targeted growth markets that I'm going to get to in a second. One of those growth markets is the outdoor sports industry. After years and years and years of decline, last year was the first increase in outdoor sports participation in over a decade. It's been almost 2 decades. And so targeting those growth markets was critically important for us. For example, participation in outdoor sports grew 2.2% last year. Fishing, 8.8%. And RV and camping, they can't even keep those things on the lot anymore. I'm going to fall off this thing, I know that. So you see how that sports ability hang in there. But driving demand, critically important, focusing in on target markets like the RV industry. Almost 1,000 new slots or rooms have been added to Polk's inventory in the last 6 months. Okay, and then we started what's called a savings pass that we're doing digitally and on our website. So anyway, those are some of the majors. Some of the golf participation up 7.9%, mountain biking 4.4%, that number for camping 28%, fishing 8.6%, I said 8.8. Anyway, total participation in bird watching. Bird watchers here, but you know, they're doing something. They're getting outside and moving around. It's not exactly, you know, the only bird watching I do is on my farm up in Wisconsin when I'm hunting. But, you know. For those of you into stand-up paddleboarding, that's up 3.2%. So you can just kind of get the numbers here. It's really impressive how those are going up. But those are the markets you target, okay? You're not going to target the markets that are going down. Tony Camarillo, I don't know if he's here today, but they've really had a rough road to hoe, much less a road to hoe. But meetings and conventions, brutal. But they have been so aggressive over there. John Oney, Tony, Scott, the rest of the staff, just doing a wonderful job. Well, this booming RV industry that I talked about earlier is going to be huge. It's going to be huge for Sun and Fun because lights and Greg are going to see, and I've already seen, an increase in camping. You know, campground's going to be full, but it's going to be full year-round. Huge strategic move, smart move on their part to focus in on that as well. So I can't say enough about their operation in that. But anyway, the average daily rate, what does that mean? It means the average rate that hotels charge for a room. Could be for a month, could be for a year. You average all that out, it's roughly in the $88 a night range right now in Polk County. RV campground, if you pull your Class A RV into the brand new Cabana Club at Lake Myrtle in Auburndale, you're going to spend $80 a night to park that RV, hook up the electricity, and do whatever else you're going to do. It is a resort. You got to check this out. It's called the Cabana Club, and it is unbelievable. It's just like any resort that you go to on the beach, wherever. Splash pads. They have those buckets that dump over on the little kids. I was going to say water pickers, but I suppose I can't say that, so I won't say that. But the fact of the matter is, it is a resort. They have spa treatments and so on. So, what, Amazon jet, probably?
No, that's a little one.
Okay, moving right along. I get the nod from Bill Mutz, that makes you move, all right? Anyway, they also have what are called these tiny houses. You've all heard of those on TV shows about these little tiny houses? Kind of cool. 125 of them are going to be on site. And so they're going to be charging about $140 a night. So this is going to stimulate our local economy. You got to have supply to meet the demand. Or you have to have demand to meet the supply, whichever way you choose to look at it. All right. We have a huge upcoming national promotion coming with the Coleman Corporation, as well as Gander RV and some others. It's going to be done digitally, through print, just all sorts of means. It's going to reach more than, I believe it's 13.6 million people, in a huge effort on our part to roll out this national campaign with the impressive partners. So we're targeting those prime markets. Let's see this thing. There we go. Okay, so what's really made the difference for Polk County? Sports. And sports, we started doing events back in the month of June, first weekend in June, which slowly brought us back. Sports is, remember this, sports is recession resistant. Disney will tell you, a friend of mine that did a lot of their research, he said, after 9/11, after the Great Recession, the one thing, the one area that didn't go down was sports. Moms and dads will brown bag it for 6 months to take that little pumpkin to the soccer field to compete in the state championships, and so she can kick butt out there. And it may be, and I had a parent tell me this one time, this may be the only time that my little darling gets a chance to compete in the national soccer championships or softball championships, whatever it may be, in each individual parent's case or child's case. But they aren't going to give up on their kids. They'll sacrifice till the cows come home. You tell them a rural Wisconsin kid, till the cows come home. And it's just one of those recession-resistant industries. So after 9/11, after the Great Recession, that's what brought us back. That's what did not give. Anyway, sports events. Our forecast for next year, this does not include the Tigers. It does not include Sun and Fun. These are amateur sporting events that we bring in, recruit throughout the course of the year. You can see the spike in 2018 and 19, and then all the way through 2021. Here's a stat for you. As of October 1st in 2019, through the month of January, okay, we brought in 66 sporting events. That's pretty doggone good for that amount of time, all right? And those sporting events, you can see some of the numbers here. In February, we hosted 22 events, 25 events, April 19. This is what we're forecasting, by the way, for this coming year. Well, this year, between October 1st through January, we hosted 90 events, 90 versus 66 in 2019 and 20. So we're really happy about that. Overall, at the end of the year, we usually host about 270 or 80 events annually. So those are the rough numbers. The 90 events as opposed to the 66. That's how we're changing the economic landscape. And that's what's keeping so many of our hotels afloat. All right, what are some of those events? The Florida Half-Century Softball Tournament. Now that's guys, no, they aren't out there in their walkers and their canes or any of that type of stuff. These are gentlemen that are 50 years old and over that are out there playing softball. We have groups that are 80 plus that are playing softball. They're not giving up, they're playing. A couple of big events. The Florida High School Activities Athletic Association was really struggling. What are we going to do about hosting our state championships? Well, Gainesville, strict lockdown, not strict, but they are more in a lockdown mode than we are, the University of Florida, said, no, you can't hold the state cheerleading championships. Well, my staff and Tony Camarillo's staff aggressively went after that one. We held it here. Jackie Johnson was involved in that process. We've got a great team here across the board. City of Lakeland, the county, it's impressive. USA softball team, we didn't say a word about this. We hosted them last year for their kickoff tour to the Olympics. The Olympics was postponed. We held this year. We hosted them again, but we couldn't say a word. And they didn't want any fans. They didn't want any crowds. Where? Florida Southern. And so they love it there. They'll be back. We'll be doing more with the U.S. Olympic softball team. And then, there's some other ones up here. We recruited quickly an event that brought in 16,000 athletes and spectators. The event was the United Flag Football National Championships. We held it in January. We made a commitment not to talk a lot about these sporting events and people we were bringing in because of obvious reasons. So we just did so in a healthy manner. And we had our safety plan in place. That protocol has now been copied throughout the country. So safely conducting these events was of prime importance to us. So we established that protocol in conjunction with a lot of different Olympic governing bodies and the United States Olympic Committee themselves, and it has proven to be extremely safe. And a effective list of what's going on. Girls and boys basketball. Girls held last weekend, boys basketball this weekend. Got to count our blessings there, right? Now it's going to be restricted in terms of attendance, but you know, it is what it is. We're just grateful that we have the impact that we have from that. So that's coming up this weekend. Make sure you stay tuned for that. Here's one that we hosted a couple of weeks ago, right before the Super Bowl. It's an annual event. We couldn't hold it in Tampa. We did it here at the new Advent Health Field House in Winter Haven. We're real involved both on developing supply, investing in supply, like Joker March, and partnering with the city of Lakeland on that. What a great thing that's turned out to be. The RP Funding Center, we partnered with the city of Lakeland. I can't remember how many millions we put into that one. I think 7. The city put in more than that, but a great partnership. There's another supply side investment that we brought to the city of Winter Haven, actually, is the Advent Health Indoor Field House and Conference Center. We hosted the American Cornhole League. Okay, yeah, what the heck? Really? Well, that event is televised. We've so far received 6 hours on ESPN2, including 2 hours right before the Super Bowl. It was the highest rated show on ESPN2. Well, you can see what some of the shots were. You know, Visit Central Florida, all of this type of stuff. The celebrities that came in and played, Doug Flutie, the Heisman Trophy winner. I can't even remember his name, from Alabama. I'm sure some of you Alabama fans would remember. Greg Jennings and others. So a big televised event. What does that mean? Well, it means that we have national worldwide visibility for Polk County, okay, the weekend of the Super Bowl. All right, gang, that pretty much sums it up. So being aggressive, relying on a strategic plan that involved research, ensuring our visitor safety, our citizens' safety, and then an aggressive sales and marketing plan made the difference and is making the difference for Polk County. But I'm going to end, because this is a prayer breakfast, and because I went to seminary, with a sort of a lesson on business and our personal lives. Life's about relationships. And if it wasn't for relationships in tourism and sports, we wouldn't be where we are. Part of that relationship has to do with the city of Lakeland, has to do with Polk County, has to do with all of our municipalities. But relationships are key. Number one, your relationship to God is number one. Very first and important. Okay? Number two, the relationship with other people. 6 out of the 10 commandments have to do with our relationship to other people. 4 out of the 10 have to do with our relationship to God. So what does that tell you? Life and business is all about relationships. And if we focus in on that, we have a lot less problems in not only in society, but in our businesses. Are we perfect? Heck no, I'll be the first one to admit it. But the fact of the matter is, you don't have those relationships, and we didn't have the relationships with a group like this, the city of Lakeland, we would be where we are today. Thank you very much, and I'll turn it back over to Mr. Light. Actually, he has the last say, so I've got to put my hard hat on here. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. So, obviously, Polk County is doing phenomenal, and these got a great team, let there be no doubt about it. but it starts at the top. And I want to give a great round of applause to the leadership, the foresight, the dedication, the fortitude that Mark Jackson has put into sports marketing and making it happen, because you are the driving force. Thank you very much, Mark. What have we done for you lately? We just passed 121 private pilots paid for by our programs here today. We've also got over 2 million, almost 2.5 million in the last 7 years, that we have invested in our students to learn to fly, fix, go to college, and continue on in great careers. All because of the things that we do together as a community. This is impressive. About 35 or 40 more students are in the pipeline right now. This number will continue to grow. It is, as of today, we lead the world in producing private pilots because of a community effort to make it happen. Skylab. We figured out not too long ago, a couple, 3 years ago, that our educational programs were on track to need more space. We have more students that are interested in the sciences, so the only way to get there is we had to create a facility that could support that and acquire teachers to help in it. So we're right now in the throes of building, and you saw in front, if you got in here after the sun came up, about 22,000 square feet of hands-on aviation-based STEM learning laboratories. I didn't say classrooms, these are laboratories to learn, take all that theory and put it into practical use. This is a $5.2 million project. Right now, everybody in here can just handy up, and we hit that 1.2. We're short right now, so don't forget to give on the way out. We'll be done. I don't see a lot of hands going up and stuff like that. No, everybody's helping right now because the community's behind us. We're really close to closing in on this. We'll finish it up in July. We should open, and we'll be ready to support that next generation of young men and women that want to have careers in all kinds of areas that are based in the sciences. This is what it's going to look like when it's done. Our friends at Register are helping it make it happen right now. It'll be a large series of classrooms that can convert from one large audience to 2 rooms, to 3, to 4, to 5. We'll have teachers on staff in our educational area, and we will teach teachers, we'll teach students, and we'll continue to grow the environment that supports the sciences. Okay? 80,000 students is our goal to engage. And what it looks like right now is, there it is, it's underway. Glass is on it, they're putting in drywall. Slowly but surely it's turning into a real facility. Hopefully this July we'll be in it. That's the plan. We stayed relevant over the summer, real quickly. We had to do something besides sit down and rub our hands and go, woe is we are concerned. That doesn't help anybody. So our fine team in the educational department was quick to come together, and our aviation destination summer camp went viral and virtually, and it was reached out to over 21 states and 3 different countries. Students came in from everywhere. We had all this virtually. Additionally, we had all these lesson plans we put out there, and they continue to stay on our web, so people can watch them from here on out. They're not just stopping right here. Additionally, we did our STEM chats. These are lesson plans for teachers to learn to use and apply in their classrooms, virtually as well. Those are alive and well on our web. Seminars. This was our Classroom to the Sky, where we teach teachers. One of our educators working on her doctoral right now, Kimberly Brewer, is married to one of our NOAA pilots, put this together, and these are alive and well on our website right now. And this is telling the story of how the sciences apply to everyday life. Very important. We've got a new executive director. Our old executive director, Mr. Ed Young, is now working with our team on the city, still part of our family. But Doug Jeans is in the back here. He just came to us from the Kavanaugh Flight Museum, of being the president of their museum for over 22 years. He's now joined our team. And now what I'd like to do is I'd like to bring up the results of our efforts. This is Mr. Cole Harris. And I've known Cole now for the better part of about 9 years. And I will tell you, when I first met him, it was much ado about nothing. And now he's a whole lot ado about something. Come on up here, Cole. He's a dear friend and a success story of his own.
Good morning, everybody. My name is James Edgar Cole Harris. I'm a Lakeland and Polk County native and resident. I I graduated from Central Florida Aerospace Academy in 2015, and without having attended there, I would not be involved in aviation at all. My family is involved in agriculture, and farm, and buy and sell watermelons and other produce. So airplanes never crossed my mind, so I attended CFA. So like I said, Central Florida Aerospace Academy was a stepping stone to getting involved in the aviation industry. But from there, I wasn't really sure which aspect of it I wanted to continue to be involved in. So they have different tracks of either flight training, maintenance, engineering, or avionics. So I started with getting on the James Gray Scholarship and getting my private pilot's license. And shortly after that, I started getting involved with Lakeland Air Club. It's an after-school club that's strictly focused on restoring, maintaining, and flying vintage aircraft. And when I was there, we were still over in the Bueller hangar. We just had one old Cub that we managed to get built and flew all the way to Oshkosh. Actually managed to make it back home without any problems. So that was pretty impressive. And now, like they said, they have a huge 12,000 square foot facility and all kinds of flight simulators. And I think we got 2 Cubs, 3 Taylor crafts, glider, lots of other neat stuff. So if y'all haven't stopped by there, I highly recommend checking that place out. It's really amazing. So towards the end of my senior year, I started working for an aircraft maintenance facility in Bartow by the name of Aircraft Engineering for an old guy named Bill Turley. And if anyone here knows Turley, he not only taught me a lot about aircraft maintenance, but many valuable life lessons through a lot of yelling and cussing and wrench throwing. A lot of people in our generation really need that hard experience, I think, nowadays. So after that, I got my airframe and power plant certificate and bounced around to a couple of other shops and eventually became director of maintenance for a company at Winter Haven Airport. And after being there, I realized that I was actually probably capable of running my own business. And at that point, I started Central Florida Aircraft Services. Central Florida Aircraft Services is a full-service aircraft maintenance facility that also can do any kind of consulting if you're interested in buying and selling an airplane or getting into aircraft management and anything else that you need with any kind of airplanes. We've been around for about 4 months. Within the past couple weeks, I recently hired a CFA senior to be a cleanup kid and kind of get his feet wet and start training him some. So I'm really happy that I was able to get someone out of the program and start teaching him the way someone taught me and give back in that way. Also, I'd like to bring more money to the area via fuel sales, farming out work to other specialty shops and providing jobs for kids and other people in the area. And just inspire the youth and share my experience with them and know that no matter what people tell you and if anyone tries to ever hold you down, you can really get out there and do anything you want. So just never let anyone stop you. I would not have been able to do this without the support of the City of Lakeland Airport, Sun and Fun, ACE, the Lakeland Aero Club, and all the other great mentors that surround me. So I really appreciate everybody's help. And I ask that everyone here continues to support these programs and help these kids get involved in aviation and fill the void that's coming in the industry. With that being said, I appreciate everyone coming here today and just do anything you can to help out the Aero Club and Sun and Fun and ACE. It's all good stuff.
Thank you, Cole. So you guys, I'm 52, and I look at memes. Kids are producing the memes. You seen that? So there was this one that came up the other day that said, you know, when you're wearing your mask, does it feel like when you come out of a room that you just left a failed surgery on Grey's Anatomy? That's what it feels like. So anyway, I don't know if you guys noticed about Mark Jackson. He actually has reported in the state of Wisconsin
that the game on his preserve is the safest in the state of Wisconsin. He is definitely bird watching. My name is Greg Gibson. I'm your friendly neighborhood air show director, and I get to do some fun stuff up here, which doesn't seem to be working remote right now. Okay, there we go. We're very fortunate this year to be returning, as everyone has emphasized up to this point. I want to do a little bit, just a quick rundown of what the Sun-Fun Aerospace Expo. See how long it's been? We changed our name, didn't even get a chance to use it yet. So we're going to be doing our air show highlights this year include the United States Navy Blue Angels, World Aerobatic Champion about 1 million times over, Rob Holland will be returning. If you haven't seen this guy fly, it's just an amazing thing to see. Short takeoff and landing demonstration. We have a competition here back in December that proved that very well. And we're going to do that version of it in our Paradise City area, which is a huge hit. And we expect that to be great for some evening activity. Warbirds will be flying. We have quite a good turnout anticipated at this point for those vintage aircraft that served our country in years past. The United States Air Force Heritage Flight will join the F-22 Raptor along with a vintage aircraft, P-51 Mustang, potentially a P-40 Warhawk will be joining that as well. Our very popular Wall of Fire and fireworks will be joining us on Saturday night. And we are going to try again with the Star Dance Spectacular Drone and Light Show. Those of you who showed up in 2019 and saw the drone show. Anyone see the drone show? Okay, yeah, it was a spectacular success. It was stealth drones. They weren't actually designed to be seen, so the fact that they weren't up means it was a great success. I understand they're doing some work overseas now. So we are welcoming them back. Great Lakes Drone Company is very generous. They're going to come back with many, many successful drone shows. So this will be the first time this guy's in Lakeland will get to enjoy that. I do want to tell you about a little thing that we're doing. It's not a little thing, it's a big thing. Everyone needs to appreciate our frontline healthcare workers. Now we see this a lot, but I wanted to recognize something right here in our own Lakeland with Lakeland Regional Health. I got our Lakeland Regional folks here. All right, back here in the back. I want to give them a big round of applause. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. What we're going to be doing is we have had, as Life mentioned earlier, April from Lakeland Regional has selected 20 participants that we will be recognizing during the flying. So we're going to give them some special activities. A couple of them even volunteered to be thrown out of airplanes, as I understand. So we're going to see how that turns out with the United States Navy leapfrogs. And good luck with that. Just enjoy the view on the way down, right? I wouldn't do it, but that's just a lot of fun. So some brave souls, not only on the front line, but also in doing something like that. It's very exciting. We're very honored to be able to recognize them in this fashion. And they represent all of our frontline healthcare workers out there that deserve so much recognition for what they've been able to do and overcome in order to keep us safe. Okay, and like I mentioned before, I want to call out our poster over here on the side. The Sun-Fun Aerospace Expo is back. And we've got some cool graphics that some of you may recognize, you kids from the 80s. And there's a little video we put together that I think you'll enjoy to let you know how much we are very excited to be back.
I'm back.
Hey, we're back.
Back in the saddle again. Hey, Skipper.
I'm back, baby! I'm back!
Well, we're back in business, boys and girls, just like the old days.
Oh, it's good to be back. I'm back.
I'm back, baby!
And now we're back.
We're back.
We're back.
We're back.
Back.
We're back in business.
Yes, we're back.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm back. Oh, boys! I'm back.
We're back. We're back!
Yeah.
Hey, listen. You think I could get a gun this time?
Hey, Doc, we better back up. We don't have enough road to get up to 88.
Roads? Well, we're going, we don't need roads.
like I said in our volunteer meeting, that's fun stuff you can do during quarantine right there. So, special shout out to the Sun and Fun Aerospace Center for Excellence staff. Could you guys stand up for just a moment, please? Just everyone that's on the Sun and Fun Aerospace Center for Excellence, Lakeland Airport staff, just stand for a moment. Can I give these guys a round of applause? They're fantastic, and a couple of people I want to recognize as well in the audience. We wouldn't be here, at least not in the fashion we are, without, as Lights mentioned earlier, Ed Young, who was our ACE director for a couple of years here, really pioneered a number of the things, including the Project Skylab, and also Holly Parrish, who helped us right at the beginning when ACE was just becoming, and she really helped us get where we're at in SAR a while ago. So Holly, thank you very much. With that, I believe we're moving on to the mayor. Back to the mayor.
Thanks.
Hey, sir, you.
Appreciate it. Great job, Greg. Man, I watch a movie like that and I get so excited to do that. I can just keep watching that all day. That's not so fun, and it makes it so exciting to anticipate this next year ahead. Mark, I want to thank you for your comments on the tourism and your proactive leadership in that regard, and the leadership that it shows the Polk County sustained during an incredibly and probably the most historically difficult year of all time. Keep that great work up. Lights, for your leadership and the phenomenal ACE progress. Ed and Doug, for your educational leadership of the Central Florida Aerospace Academy, and for Skylab. And Cole Harris, for your great example in terms of what can happen as one of those 121 flying graduates as we go forward. Well, we are definitely on the rebound from COVID. We are expecting to see spring. We are expecting to see spring training and Sun and Fun provide the responsible early leadership for restoration back into the public sector as we get through this crisis. By mid-April and May, we expect to see organizations reigniting their annual events physically, as well as with some virtual infill that they can do. But we think that that's a direction we ought to be moving in a healthy way as a city towards that re-engagement in mid-April and May as we go along. By the way, as a point of clarification, and this is often very understandable because this happens, Mark, we actually have two mayor breakfasts. This mayor breakfast is for Sun and Fun and Aerospace Excellence. Then May 7th, we will have our mayor's prayer breakfast, which you've ignited us towards a little earlier, anyway, as we go along. So there are two each year, but this is the first that allows us to be able to focus on Sun and Fun. One strengthens the way we get off the ground, the other is where we receive our individual flight plans for effective living, okay? So that's the difference between the two. As to the commission and to the airport, we are so grateful for Gene Conrad's leadership and have a strong recognition of the vital place that Lakeland Linder International Airport serves on a long-term basis. And I want you to know, I serve with a commission that provides strong support for the airport's continued growth and will continue to do so. We look forward to Amazon Air's continuing expansion here. They're enthusiastic about Lakeland. They love working with this city and with our county because they've expanded some areas outside of the city limits as well. And we remain aggressively engaged in the pursuit of commercial passenger airlines that are going to connect us to major Southwest hub cities. That's just a matter of time. And we strongly support ACE and Sun and Fun's Aerospace Expo and are committed to their long-term growth, and this team epitomizes overcoming. You do it marvelously, and we are so grateful for that. So be encouraged. 2021 is our rebound year, and we're going to see that happen. Lights is now going to give us a raffle. Thanks, Lights.
Thank you, Mayor. Best mayor ever. What do you think, huh? Just mayor for life. Is that right, Bill? Mayor for life?
Fortunately for you not.
Oh, rats. All right, so let's wrap it up here with a raffle. Everybody put your card in here. We're going to draw a couple, and we're going to give away a few gifts right here real quick. While I'm doing that, if everybody look over to your right, you see an airplane when you walked in. It's got 1941 or Charlie on it. That is an aircraft that our students, volunteers, and staff members are putting together that is going to support teaching those individuals with physical challenges how to get a license in the light sport world. So if they're missing the use of a leg or an arm or both, they'll learn to fly in that airplane here starting late this summer, early in the fall, and they will get back in the sky and be part of life and helping them build back that feeling of accomplishment that gives them the motivation to continue on in life. That's what it's all about. So, with that, here we go. Let's pull out. Got to be present to win, so if you left early, too bad, so sad. Oh my gosh. J.D. Beckett, for crying out loud. J.D. Beckett, I just about randomly. He's on the board for our Lakeland Aero Club. He's also a member of the AOPA, Aircraft Owners and Pilots Association, and he's one of their representatives here in the region. So you get to pick a gift. Does he pick it down? I'm going to throw it back in. You're going to take it back to him? You're going to love this. This is a high-quality backpack that is a cooler. All right. All right, how about Ryan Rogers from Mid-Florida? Ryan, are you here? There he is, all right. You have kids, Ryan? Yeah, then you're going to Legoland with them. All right. And last but not least, we'll get down to the bottom down here, and what we got? Okay, wow, this is one of our new best friends. How many people here are familiar with Academy Prep? You ever heard of Academy Prep? Cool. Lincoln, where's Lincoln at? I saw you earlier. Lincoln? Right back there? Yes. All right, he's the executive director over there. Academy Prep does 5th, 6th, 7th graders, on the way to 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th graders of challenged areas to help give them that strength and character to move on in life. We are teaming with them because we want their students at our Simple Ford Aerospace Academy. But the winner here is Rebecca Knowles, who is their development manager. Yay, Rebecca. You get to go flying. All right, with that, I can't thank y'all enough for coming out and supporting this program. It ignites us. It gives us the energy to press ahead. Let's have a great week. See you at Sun and Fun